Star Trek Season 2 finale is so cool. The franchise homaged it 56 years later. Some Star Trek episodes age well. A few age dangerously well, so well that decades later, the franchise can't resist circling back, nudging fans in the ribs, and saying, "Hey, remember this?" The original series' Season 2 finale, Assignment Earth, is one of those episodes. Airing in 1968, it was a bold swing even by Star Trek standards. A near-total departure from the Enterprise, a contemporary Earth setting, a mysterious new lead character, and a story that barely felt like Star Trek at all. And yet, that strange, stylish, ahead-of-its-time episode left such a strong imprint that 56 years later, Star Trek didn't just reference it, it effectively rebuilt an entire modern storyline around it. That kind of long-tail influence doesn't happen by accident. Assignment Earth wasn't just cool in 1968. It was future-proof, a season finale that ditched the Enterprise on purpose. By the time Assignment Earth aired, Star Trek had already trained its audience to expect certain things from a season finale. High-stakes sci-fi concepts, moral dilemmas, and plenty of screen time aboard the USS Enterprise. Instead, the episode opens with Kirk and Spock stranded in 1968 Earth, watching humanity teeter on the edge of nuclear catastrophe. Then the episode does something radical. It sidelines them. The real focus shifts to Gary 7, a sharply dressed, enigmatic operative working for a shadowy organization tasked with quietly steering human history away from disaster. 7 isn't Starfleet. He isn't even from Earth. He's something else entirely. Part spy, part guardian angel, part Cold War-era superhero. For a show that usually centered its optimism on Starfleet officers boldly going into space, Assignment Earth suggested something far stranger and more unsettling. What if history is constantly being nudged by unseen hands? That idea hit differently in 1968, with the Vietnam War ongoing and nuclear anxiety baked into daily life. Star Trek wasn't just commenting on the future, it was interrogating the present. Gary 7, the coolest character who never got his show. There's no way around it. Gary 7 was designed to launch a spin-off. Robert Lansing plays him with effortless cool, confident, secretive, and slightly amused by everyone else in the room. He is advanced technology disguised as everyday objects, including a servo-controlled cat named Isis, and he works out of a sleek office hidden in plain sight. 7 wasn't about exploration. He was about intervention. That alone made him fascinating. Star Trek usually frames non-interference as a moral ideal, but Gary 7's entire job is to interfere, quietly, surgically, and without permission. He exists in the moral gray area Starfleet tries to avoid. The proposed spin-off, also titled Assignment Earth, never materialized. But the character stuck in fans' minds because he represented a version of Star Trek that felt grounded, stylish, and unsettlingly plausible. No warp drives. No aliens of the week. Just Earth. And the implication that it has never been left alone. Why Assignment Earth felt different even for Star Trek. What makes the episode endure isn't just Gary 7, it's the tone. Assignment Earth plays like a spy thriller masquerading as science fiction. The pacing is tighter. The dialogue is sharper. The humor is dry rather than whimsical. Even Kirk and Spock feel slightly out of their element, which is the point. Spock analyzing 20th century technology with Vulcan seriousness never gets old. But more importantly, the episode flips the usual power dynamic. For once, Starfleet officers aren't the most informed people in the room. Gary 7 knows more. His employers know more. And Earth's future depends on things no one is allowed to fully understand. That's a chilling idea, and one Star Trek rarely explored so directly again, until much later. The long silence, and the growing myth. For decades, Assignment Earth existed as a fascinating oddity. Later series mostly avoided it. The Supervisors, Gary 7's organization, were mentioned occasionally in novels and expanded material, but on-screen canon left them untouched. That absence only made the episode more mythic. Fans debated who the Supervisors really were. Were they benevolent? Were they manipulating humanity for its own good, or someone else's agenda? And most intriguingly, were they still out there? Star Trek, famously, plays the long game. Sometimes very long. 2024. Star Trek finally goes back. In Star Trek Picard Season 2, the franchise did something quietly brilliant. Instead of rebooting Gary 7 outright or retconning his story, it returned to the same idea, the same era, and the same uneasy question, 56 years later, both in universe and in real-world time. Picard and his crew find themselves in Los Angeles, 2024, a deliberate echo of Assignment, Earth's 1968 setting. The vibe is unmistakable: modern Earth, high stakes, minimal Starfleet presence, and the creeping realization that history is fragile. Then comes the reveal. The supervisors are real, still operating, and still shaping humanity's future. Talon, played by Orla Brady, isn't Gary 7, but she is his legacy. A watcher tasked with protecting a key individual whose survival will shape the Federation's future. Like 7, she operates alone, burdened by secrecy and guided by rules.